Hello and welcome back to Throttle Thrasher. Obviously I've uploaded a few shorts with this bike, but this will be the first proper video I've done on it on the channel. Obviously I haven't uploaded for a while, so I haven't really had a proper road legal bike. Obviously I had the RX 250 if you've seen on the channel and you're a subscriber, but yeah, this is my first road legal bike again in like a year. But yeah, obviously I haven't been running legally, I would never do that. But anyway, let's get to the video. So today's going to be a video on my new bike basically. As you can see, I've got a Honda Grom 125. It's obviously the SF version, hence the headlight in newer shape. Obviously it's not the latest one because I just brought out a new one. But yeah, this isn't obviously the latest one. They've just brought out a new one, so I was waiting for that van to go past, which is pretty much like the OG one, just with more circles on the side, but it's horrible. I prefer this one. It's my favourite Grom. Yeah, today I'm just going to talk about the modifications that I've done so far since getting it, and what's to come on the channel basically. I'm out with the GoPro on today, if you can see it there. So I am filming some riding footage as well at the same time to drop soon, because I need to get back on my YouTube. I've been slacking. So yeah, basically this is a 2017 Honda Grom 125 SF. Obviously people have seen these everywhere. I was a bit against getting one because I like to be different, hence why I had the Zontes. I don't like being the same as everyone else, but I see why everyone's had these, because like they are amazing. It's a beginner stunt bikes. I've learned more in 2 months of owning this than I did in 2 years on normal bikes. I've learned if I can stand up wheelies, knee up wheelies, I can stand on the seat even before I had the wheelie bar, one-handed wheelies. I can now obviously change gear and go through gears and the wheelie and fucking all kinds of stuff I could never do on a normal one. Just yeah, the progress I've made on this in such a short period of time, it blows me away. I see why everyone jumps on them. Plan is obviously like everyone else to start on this and then move up to a bigger bike. Ideally I want a supermoto because that's just me. I ride like a twat really when I'm on the road. Well, not like a twat, but a bit of a hooligan, so I think a supermoto is a hooligan bike, isn't it? But anyway, let's get into the video. Obviously you're probably all laughing at my number plate by now. It's yeah, it's only like 4 days old, that number plate, and it's already broke. Bit sensitive. But yeah, right, let's get on to the modifications of the bike anyway. Or let's talk a bit more about it. Like I say, it's a 2017 plate. It's only got 5k miles. As you can see, it is stolen recovered. That is why the ignition's out there. It's had all new set, and it was nicked back in 2021, and then it was nicked in 2021, but it had some damage where they'd crashed it when whoever nicked it was riding it. They'd bent the front wheel, and the person thought the forks or the frame was bent, so I got out on a bit of a gamble. And it turns out it was headstock bearings and the front wheel was bent, and now that's been sorted. I've managed to get a logbook in my name and all that, and I've got the stolen marker taken off because the police forgot to take the marker off for 2 years. So I rang the police and I was like, is this bike still stolen? They said it was on their system. They had a look into it and turned out it was, you know, obviously it had been found and the person had been paid out for it. So this Grom owes me about 1,200-1,300 quid at the minute, which is obviously, as you can imagine, it's stupidly cheap. It's 2017, only one owner from new. Only 5,500 miles. As you see, the engine's mint. It's fucking all mint. Good condition. Let's talk about what I've done to the bike. As you can see, I've got Pro Taper bars on here, which are the KLX ones. Yeah, fucking sick. When I got this bike, I had flat bars on it. Someone put low flat bars on it. I couldn't really wheelie it for shit. As soon as I got these bars, I was literally able to wheelie like a whole row like this, just from putting the bars on. It was mad. The difference was fucking mental. And the other thing I've started learning to do when I get to a wheelie spot is obviously letting loads of air out my back tyre. When I'm wheeling this properly, I've got a little tyre machine that I can take out with me that I got off Amazon for £38. And when I go out, I drop my tyres down to 6 PSI for wheelie, and obviously get more of a flat spot, and it's just easier to control the wheelie and keep it up and things like that. So yeah, so that's obviously the bars. As you can see, it's got an upgraded front brake lever. It did have an upgraded clutch lever until the other day when it snapped off in my hand. So as you can see, it doesn't work very well, but it's running a Derby Sender 50 clutch at the minute, which is a bit shit, but it is what it is. Obviously I've had to sort the wheel out. I've got a new clutch to go in it for stunting. I thought I needed a new back wheel at one point because I thought that was bent, but I had another tyre on before this, and it turned out it had a puncture the first day. I got it on the next day, and I rode it flat to the shop like 50 metres up the road, and I think I knocked the tyre off of the ridge basically, so it was wobbling going down the road. So I swapped back to my original bolt tyre and it's all good again, so I'm just going to keep that for a week or so. As you can see, the main thing that's been done to this bike, which everyone will notice, is the Stunt Savage Creation wheelie bar. Just a full kit, obviously, with pegs, or the like, you know, has to put your foot in, do knee up wheelies, or just stand up, whatever you want. And then it's got the titanium like spark bar at the back, which is like 70 odd quid on its own, which is pretty mad. But yeah, so that's obviously probably the main feature on the bike. As you can see, it's not, I didn't buy it new because they're like £300 or something silly, which is no point to crash it down the road. I've already, you know, come off this 3 times coming off the back, so I haven't got a handbrake set up, as you've probably seen. So when I'm doing stand-up wheelies on the pegs, I've got no brake coverage at all. Or when I'm doing knee-ups, oh no, when I'm doing knee-ups, I put my left foot in the front thing, so I have got that brake coverage. But usually when I'm doing stand-ups on both pegs, I don't have any coverage of the brake, and I've come off, like I came off last night, I had to bail off the back of the bike, so I went too far back. And there's just no way of bringing it back, obviously. Like with a handbrake, I can scrape and then snap it and come back down. With this, I scrape and fall off because there's no way of getting it back down, which is a bit shit. And then let's get on, well, obviously the next thing is the cheap exhaust. It's only a cheap Chinese one. It came with the N-can already. Some people will probably go, why the fuck is it like that? It was a different size. That was a 38mm and this is a 50mm or 54mm pipe, something like that. So basically I need to get a weld ran round there to attach this end sleeve to it, and then it'll all line up alright and fit better. And yes, that isn't in a tube around it because I lost the rubber bit for it. As you can see from where I crashed it last night, got a little scratch there, and I bent the brake lever. I've also got a bent clutch lever from when I crashed it on the other side the other week. Not clutch lever, gear lever. Fucking annoying. But yeah, cheap exhaust. And then, as you can see, the final thing I've done to the bike is going to be the Monster graphics kit, which looks fucking sick. It was only like 89 quid. I can't lie, I had pretty much the same Monster kit on my Aprilia SX125 last year. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. I literally was in the same spot with Aprilia SX125 with pretty much the same graphics kit, doing a video like this, talking about the parts and modifications that I'd done. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Yeah, that was an alright bike. Don't get an Aprilia SX125. I bought it thinking Aprilia, and then it turned out to be Chinese, but there's more on my channel about that. But I only kept it 3 months, so there's not like a long-term review or anything. But yeah, no, the graphics kit, this is the best graphics kit I've ever bought by far. Unlike most graphics kits that I bought, this had like little lines and like bends taken out of it, so it would bend with the bike, so you didn't have to fucking use a heat gun and force it. And then the other thing is the stickers are just so bloody thick. Like the quality is so good of them, like they're so thick. When I got the bike, when I got the graphics kit, I had a note in there saying to use a heat gun or a hairdryer to apply, must do this. So I went and got a hairdryer, I went to do it, and because it was so hot outside, the hairdryer was actually making it have bubbles rather than taking the bubbles out. So I've got like one little bubble there and another little bubble somewhere off down there. But other than that, I literally just put the sticker kit on myself. I didn't fucking use a heat gun or anything. I just used obviously one of this like wrapping card things, you know what I want about, that you use to smooth it all off. I just used one of them, and that was literally it. And it was such a good, I don't know, it was just so easy. Like the Aprilia one I did was fucking horrible. This one was so easy to apply. It took me about 2-3 hours because when the stickers came, the machine didn't cut the outline out properly, so I had to individually, and it came in a big sheet roll with all the stickers on, and I had to individually cut every single sticker out with a Stanley blade because the machine didn't cut them out properly, which was a bit of a pain in the ass. But I was going to complain to the company, and then I seen how good the quality of the stickers were, so I couldn't complain. As you can see, I have the person before me cut this down a little bit so it doesn't line up quite as good on the front. That should obviously sit right at the front, but it still looks sick. Other modifications I've done to this bike is not really too much. Obviously I've done, well, I say tail tidy. I've just put my number plate straight onto the wheelie bar. I needed a new brake lens because obviously before I had the wheelie bar I came off doing a wheelie and fucking lost the lens. Yeah, the only other thing I've really done to this bike since getting it was when I first got it, the forks were pretty much bottoming out every time and was hitting the bottom. So so what I did was I took each fork leg out and drained all the oil out, left it to drain for half hour for each fork leg so it was consistent, and then I topped them back up. But I think stock it said these run 200ml of fork oil, so I've upped it to 230 because the only oil I could get my hands on the day was in Halfords. But long term, what I want to do for stunting is I want to get some 20 weight fork oil, which is obviously a lot thicker, and then put that in so I've not got as much sponginess, and it'll be better for doing stoppies as well then, because they're just too spongy at the minute. Yeah, you can't really see from that, obviously it's hard to show you, but they're a lot better than they were when I first got it. I was surprised, I actually thought there was no fork oil in it at all, but it turns out the fork seals are just really fucking good and it hadn't leaked any at all. I was expecting some sort of residue or something in 2 months and there was just nothing, so I assumed there was no oil in there because they were going down so much, but there was just not enough apparently. So I've topped it up, redone them. I've done the headstock bearings myself on this. Like I said, I just got a new wheel from Grom Hub literally 2 days ago. If you haven't heard of them, go and check them out. They're on Instagram, Facebook. It's like the main UK Grom Hub, Grom scene sort of thing. Makes sick hoodies. I recommend getting one. Fucking best quality hoodie I've ever had. Fucking really thick, really nice and warm. Custom like Instagram logos on the back and stuff. But yeah, like I say, this is just a short video really on the upgrades. I've got more to come. And I'm going to start doing some like maintenance videos on this, like when I need to do chain and sprockets. I'm going to show you how to do that. Obviously when the brake pads need doing, I'll do the oil change soon. I've got to replace the clutch as well, so I may do a video on that, but it's my first time doing it properly, so I don't know whether I want to film it just in case, because I don't want to, you know, promote doing it and then it be wrong and the bike go wrong at the end, and then like it's like fucking, you know, 10,000 people have copied me and then all their bikes are ruined as well. So that would not be a good move. So I think I'm going to do it on my own this time, and then if it all goes well, show it in the future. Yeah, like I say, stay tuned for the channel. There's going to be some stunt riding videos coming. I'm hoping to ride, I live in Devon, I'm hoping to ride this to fucking Leeds in about 2 weeks time for Gromfest, which is about 300 odd miles, so hopefully she's reliable. She's not been too reliable, I can't lie at the minute. Obviously I've had a bent front wheel, bent back wheel, headstock bearings, the ignition broke yesterday, one of the wires broke off, so I lost all the clock brake light indicators, so I had to resolder every single wire in the ignition last night, which I did 4 times thinking that it didn't work, and it turned out I blew a fuse when I first plugged it in. Which fucking pissed me right off, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I say, keep tuned on the channel. I'm gonna have loads more like stunt riding videos and things like that, vlogs coming soon. I have got a GoPro again. Yeah, I just need to get basically some sort of mic set up for it, and do that, or find a way of putting some audio over it basically, because I don't just want it to be you know what I mean, it's fucking annoying. So it'd be better if I could just talk and have a laugh with people at the same time. But yeah, like I say, stay tuned on the channel. I might do a full video on going up to Gromfest if I go up.